You're so pretty.
Thanks. Don't judge me, okay?
Okay.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is me, Paige Layle. You guys may or may not know me from TikTok. Thank you for 2 million followers on TikTok. If this is your first time seeing me, hi, what's up? Make sure you go check out my TikTok account at Paige Layle, and while you're at it, you can follow my Instagram with the same name. My last video is all about autistic traits that I showed as a child, and I also asked you guys to ask some questions for my mama. So today it is my mother and I, sorry, I hit your boob. Today is my mom and I, and we are going to answer some of the questions that you guys have asked us. So stay tuned. This is my mom.
Hello, I'm Tracy.
This is the first time that you've been on anything with me. Are you excited?
A little bit nervous.
Are you
I'm
nervous?
scared.
Why?
Because I might end up crying and I don't want to embarrass myself.
Super good, super
Okay.
good. Okay, so first off, introduce yourself. What is your name? What is your relationship to me? How long have we known each other?
My name's Tracy. I am your mother. I have known you for just over 21 years because you'll be 21 this year.
Yes.
And I known you when you were just a wee inside my belly.
Nice.
I am a real estate agent. I own and operate my own brokerage. And
Want to plug it for us?
At ROYALE Realty.
Are you ready to answer some questions?
Yes, I think so.
So
I would like just to remind everybody to please be kind. Please be kind. I'm terrified.
Mom, you're gonna be great. Oh yeah, if you guys didn't know, I'm autistic.
Yeah.
Cool. So first question for you, I want you to describe what I was like as a child.
Like as a child, like a baby?
Like, yeah.
Because there was so many, like from the get-go, that looking back were signs that I never realized.
Mm-hmm.
Take things seriously, like for what the word is.
Yeah.
So when I said to you, like, this is, I say this often, hold on to your shorts.
Yeah.
You would literally hold on to your shorts. Like, so hold on to your shorts, I'm gonna be a minute. You're like, and the counting started. You were very colicky, brilliant, but
Thank you.
I didn't look for that to be a sign of autism. Oh, why is my daughter brilliant? She must be autistic.
You don't think of a brilliant kid and go, what's wrong with that kid?
No, there was a lot of things. Your memory skills, your touching stuff, there was a lot of things, but autistic never jumped at me.
When did I start talking?
I think you were like most babies. I don't necessarily think you started talking. You went straight to singing. I would read you a story and you'd sing it. You know, in the bathtub, you know, when you're bathing your baby, you'd sing. You sang. You were a singer.
What was the hardest part about raising me?
Well, you were pretty easy because when I said words to you, like, you listened. Well, I was told that I should not be giving you more information than that's required, and that oftentimes with children, when they ask why, the answer should be because I said so, not with an explanation. But I always thought of giving an explanation. So if we went to the grocery store, and there was one time after Graham was born and I had a cesarean, so I wasn't walking the best. You were 2.5-ish. You kind of wandered away, and I was like, I couldn't chase you and I couldn't leave the baby, so I waited until we caught up, and then I bent down to your level and said, Paige, you can't do that, honey. Like, anything could happen. What if I don't see you? What if you're going to grab a can and they're going to fall on you? Or what if somebody wanted to take you away from me? Which, in retrospect, those are terrifying words for a 2.5, almost 3-year-old. And you said, okay. And we never had that conversation again. You could empathize with me just like that. Yeah. That I don't want to scare my mom. I think that's what it was.
I think if you were to say, because I said so, I'd go, that doesn't make any sense to me, because I don't see... Sorry, unfortunately, though you are an authority
figures. That was a bit of a challenge.
Yeah. So because I said so, I don't care. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and if you said you can't do that because something bad will happen and I will feel upset about it, I'm like, that makes sense to me.
I think the challenges came in before you were diagnosed, but as a teenager. When you were 12 to diagnosis, you were very upset a lot, and I didn't know how to help you.
Going back on how I was so upset and whatever, did people treat me differently growing up?
Yes. I chalked that up in my brain as girls are cruel, they're jealous, you're gorgeous, you're smart, you're going to be successful. So I never really saw kids be mean to you. And I don't necessarily know if they were mean. It was just you couldn't, like, your method of thought process is completely different.
I think very black and white, and I think a lot more when I was a kid than I do now, but I was very quick to think that
nobody liked you.
But also that if someone did something bad, they were a bad person. I don't think as much I was as, like, bullied. Like, I wasn't incredibly like picked on. Like there were a lot of times where I was, but I think the biggest thing was that I was just like alienated all the time.
And I don't necessarily know if you were alienated. You were valedictorian.
Yeah,
you
but
were
I
voted
didn't
by
have
your
any...
friends. But I think you felt alienated because you didn't think the same way everybody else thought.
I was valedictorian, but that's just because I was the best public speaker, I feel like. I had a big project in grade 7 where we had to take a song and then like break it down and what all of it means and whatever, and write like an essay on it. And I was having like the biggest struggle. And she had no idea why. English Miss Dale's focused so much on just working with me, like in that one thing, and I was losing my mind. I'm like, it's raining. She's like, what does that mean? I'm like, it means that it's raining. She's like, no, it means sadness or whatever. And I'm like, how? Why? And I just go completely nonverbal and just sit there and not do anything. When she was handing the marks back out, I didn't get one. And she's like, can I talk to you in the hall? And then I talked to her in the hall and she was like, we're just gonna pretend that never happened. I was like, okay. And then we cried and hugged each other. And I'm like, I'm sorry. And she's like, I'm sorry.
She didn't know how to help you.
Yeah, she knew that that's not who I usually am. Like,
you're an overachiever,
yeah,
so she knows
should have done good.
Yeah.
It's one thing not understanding something, but it's even harder when you're smart enough to know you don't understand it. You want to so bad, but you can't. That's the hardest thing. Like, I remember being like, I don't want to be as smart as I am. Because if I remember I was like, yeah, if I were dumber, I'd be happier.
I remember this conversation.
Yeah.
Because you put the onus on yourself. Like, we weren't the ones pressuring you going, you have to get perfect, you have to get perfect.
Yeah.
But if you were not getting perfect, then you were distraught.
Yeah.
I think that you deal with not being perfect a little bit better and knowing that
I can't be perfect.
That nobody's perfect.
No. Before I was diagnosed, did anyone bring up the possibility that I would be autistic? Any teachers or parents or anybody? Did anyone bring up anything like that they thought there was something up with me? No?
No, I'm sorry. You, like, again,
I don't know why that makes me so upset.
all of your struggles and all of your tears and all of your frustrations was like, that's all a cry for help, right? That's all a like, I'm not like everybody else, and why can't they see that? And I don't know if it's what makes you such a good speaker about this topic, but you are exceedingly gorgeous.
Thanks.
You are exceedingly compassionate. You are exceedingly smart. Like, all of the things that stereotypically you shouldn't have any problems. I honestly didn't see any problems, Paige. I saw you had problems, but I didn't think that autistic or autism or any of those things or the compulsive disorders that you have. Didn't see it. Like, I saw it and was like, oh.
But you just didn't know what it was.
No, I just, well, that's Paige.
I was like, what, 17 when I learned how to properly hold a fork and knife?
Yes, I know, you stopped it.
And then I was at one of my friend Mackenzie's, and Mackenzie's like, why? This is how you do it. And I was like, why didn't you ever teach me to do it properly? And you were like, I thought that's just what you did.
Looking back, there was many, many, many struggles that you were having internally. I don't think that you verbalized them very well until you did reach the teenager years.
Because I don't think I knew how I was feeling. Yeah.
I just thought that people treated you differently because of your overwhelming talents.
I always knew that if everyone else felt the same way that I felt, they would be having a hard time too.
And you said that.
Yeah, they couldn't be feeling the same way that I was feeling. Or if they did, then what's wrong with me? Why can't I handle it?
You said these words.
Yeah.
Oh, repeatedly.
Yeah.
And I was like, Fump.
What did you think that autism was before I was diagnosed?
Stereotypically, like, Forrest Gump, Rain Man.
Yeah. Did you watch those movies?
Forrest Gump, yes, not Rain Man. When I was growing up, anybody that wasn't like everybody else was just weird. They weren't treated poorly, like nobody beat them up or anything like that, but they weren't included in a lot of things.
Like, society hasn't taught you all these things, and...
Yeah, but I should have been looking for them. Like, I like to think I'm an educated. That's where I thought you got all this stuff from, was from me.
Yeah.
And,
do you remember when you didn't know what residential school was until like a year ago?
I did not know, and I still am effing floored that we were not taught something about
Yeah,
that.
because when you were in high school, they were still around. Super weird.
And angry. Makes me angry.
Right? And I think that's where we're going with this too, is like, how would you have even known what to look for if you didn't even know what was available? That's
one of the things that I'm very proud of you for, is being a very good speaker. Other people are watching and hearing your story, and then they aren't going to do what I did and just brush it. Not brush, hopefully I didn't brush everything under the rug, but I could have got you help sooner if I had been more open-minded and heard that this could be a thing. It's not just parents, it's teachers, it's educators, it's the people in the community, it's the dance teachers, it's the, you know, all of those things, the figure skating teachers, the rugby coaches, all of those things.
Big question, how did you feel when I got my diagnosis?
Between relief, because then I knew there's, I don't know, a label.
Yeah.
So usually labels means that you can get help.
Yeah, learn more about it.
Yeah, so between relief and confusion, because I still didn't know. Okay, so she's not crazy. Now what?
Did you think that my diagnosis like fit?
Yes, everything. Sorry.
No, yeah, me too. I remember being like, wow. Like, I am different than everybody. That's what it is. It has a word. Like, there's other people out there that have felt the same way. My struggles are valid because, and I am different from other people, and I'm not normal. But also, I was like, I'm not autistic. Autistic people are weird. Like, I'm not weird. I'm so weird. But I was like, no, that's not. I can't be. Look at me. Because I didn't know.
And that's what people do when they look at you.
Yeah.
They're like, you
don't look autistic.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I had no idea what autism was. No idea.
So it wasn't just me. I wasn't alone.
Did other people make you think that my diagnosis was wrong? Yes. Is there only one person?
Well, one person that was like, no, I don't believe that.
Yeah. No. I know more than doctors.
Always.
How'd that make you feel though?
Pissed off.
Yeah.
People don't live with you. People don't understand. Like, you're not in these walls. You don't know what's going on. And it makes me just as upset today when I read some of the comments of some of your followers and the haters.
Yeah.
Oh!
That's actually a question I have for you.
Oh my gosh. I'm getting hot. Like, it makes me so angry. It makes my blood boil. It's another one of those things that makes my day go very bad.
I feel like no matter what, I never fit in anywhere because I'm not normal enough to be normal, and I'm not autistic enough to be autistic, even though I am. I always feel like even within the autistic community, a lot of people at first were really excited that I was talking, and then it went to like, you shouldn't be talking. I feel like the story of my life is that everyone thinks that I'm too good, so they don't care about me, you know? I feel like
see, and that makes me upset because like then you're not like,
I'm so alienated.
Yes.
And it's hard enough. I always feel like I'm alienated anyway because I'm autistic, but then I see it. Like, I actually am.
There's always the other side of the fence that, you know, you're like, we've talked about this. You're like, Mom, I have no friends.
Yeah.
And then the next day, she's like, all my friends want me. And I just want to be alone.
I think that there's a difference between wanting to have friends and wanting to not feel lonely. You used to say, I can't wait to go to university because then I'll be part of something. Yes.
I'll be in a sorority.
Can you stop
touching you?
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Okay, so another question for you. What is the biggest difference between raising an autistic kid versus a kid like my brother who's not autistic?
So many differences.
Yeah.
Because you and I can connect. But the thing is that even just on how I speak to, because you and I connect differently than your brother connects.
With you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, so I try to have a conversation with him like I have with you, and he's having no part of it. It's just very different. Everything's different. The way I talk to both of you and how I actually can relate to both of you is different.
How do you balance helping me but still giving me my independence?
I don't know, it's hard. I think a lot now that I try to just be a sounding board for you, and I will ask, do you need me to do something?
So do you think that the best way that you found to help me was by asking me?
Yes.
Do you think that I knew what I needed?
No, not all the time. But at the moment with your emotions, you did. You know, when you'd call late at night because your day just totally overwhelmed you and you still have 18 more things to do and it's midnight and you're sad and you're anxious and you're, okay, what can I do to help you right now? And sometimes you just hang up on me. You can't help me.
Being able to sort it out with you is helpful.
Well, and I also think that you can be angry, ugly cry with your mom if that's what you needed. Like, I hope I'm a safe place. And
you are.
And I hope that I will always be your safe place.
And I think that also with that is I am definitely nervous about your own burnout too, because a lot of the times I don't want to treat you like a punching bag.
I don't think that you do. I don't think that you walk all over me. I think you're considerate. But I think that that's part of being a mom.
But you don't deserve just getting all of my
You
shit. all the
don't
time.
always just give me your shit. And I'm not dependent on you. And I'm not saying you have to be dependent on me. But I want to help you in any way that I can. I'm interested in your day. I'm interested in this life. She's doing a great job. Like, you're kicking ass. And people reach out to me all the time with, I'm so proud. You must be proud of your daughter. Yes, I'm very proud of my daughter. You know, like, people bring it all the time.
One of the questions someone asks is, are you proud of me?
I am so proud of you.
Good.
You've taken some challenges and you've just like, sometimes it knocks you down and sometimes it knocks you down for a while. But then there's a part of you and you're like, nope. You know what I'm going to do? And you got a solution and you figured it out, or we've talked about it, and you like, you're strong. And even though in those moments when you don't feel like it, you're a very strong person.
Has my diagnosis changed how you view other people?
Yes, only I feel like I am more open. I don't judge people. I don't know, that sounds very bad because it's not like I judged people before.
You're allowed to grow and change.
Thank you.
It's
because
yeah.
I really think I have.
You are allowed to
or I
evolve.
think I am that evolve. There's not just people like me in this world. It's not just your autism or being autistic. It's like, you're an advocate for many things that you believe in, and I learn. And I'm not saying it's your job to teach me, but to hear it and to be open and to know and to be acceptable and go, oh, well, I would never imagine that it would be so hard to be gay right now because it doesn't affect me. I haven't.
Yeah.
But now, like, I feel like my eyes are open. I really feel like I've got to tune in on what's happening in the world. Maybe not like everything.
Cool.
Very ignorant of lots of things, but I feel like I'm more open.
What is something that you never understand about me?
I could change anything. I would like it to be able to use the word let it go, and for you to actually let it go.
How would raising me have changed if you knew I was autistic as like a toddler?
Medication a lot sooner.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
There's a lot of iffy things about medicating a small child because children cannot consent. I was
Okay.
under the age of consent when I started medication.
If even just in how we talk about each other and not about each other, but to each other. We don't fight often, but we had a disagreement and we were in the kitchen. You were mad and I was mad.
Was
and
that
I think
when
I wanted you to get out of my way. And I started to laugh.
Oh, you think
I would
funny?
never have done
And
that.
I'm like, my pain is not funny.
I wouldn't have done that. I would have talked about it from, infancy, so it never blew into this great big thing. There's lots. I would have validated your feelings, because don't you think that even, like, I think validation would have gone a long way in making yourself,
I remember as a kid, like, you guys, every time I cried, like, no one took it seriously. Like, I think
you wanted attention.
I think you guys, I don't know where you got it from, probably like your parents, that like when babies cry or when kids cry, it's because they want attention or they didn't get their way or they're throwing a tantrum. And I can't remember one time I did that. I always cried for, like, I was very, very, very upset. Get over it, stop crying. And then I would keep crying. He's like, stop crying, because I think that he thought that I was just faking it, but I never was. And that really sucked. I remember one time I had a full panic attack on the kitchen floor and I couldn't move. I was laying on the ground and Graham and Dad were in the living room just like hanging out. There were times where I was freaking out on the table doing math or whatever and I couldn't stop crying, and you guys told me that I do this too often. I should just, like, if I'm gonna cry, go in my room because I'm bringing you all down.
If we had this diagnosis at a much earlier age, then all of those feelings, those I'm not valid, I'm not loved, they don't care, all of those, like, you wouldn't feel that.
It took me a while to think of you as a human rather than just my mom. My mom, you have to do mom things. It took me a lot of therapy to be like, that's a human person. What do you think about parents that post videos of their kids online having like meltdowns and stuff?
I don't understand why anybody would want to humiliate their child that way.
I can attest to when you would talk a lot about me online, even sometimes, because I got Facebook at like 6 years old,
That's because I started traveling and that was the way we could communicate.
Yeah. I remember you used to post stuff about me and I would get very upset, and it wasn't even all that personal, like even just like, oh, fighting with my daughter today or something, and I'm like, do not talk about me, because I knew that, like, growing up, I wanted to have my own relationships with people, and I didn't want them to just base our relationship off of what they knew of me as a child through you.
It doesn't matter that you're autistic. Why would you do that? What if somebody did that about me?
Yeah. That's
Thanks.
so sucky.
Don't do that.
And I think that I think that's something that benefited me, is being able to tell you not to do that. A lot of autistic kids can't or don't even know that they're being publicly shown to the world. That's really
There's
something.
no privacy there.
No, and I really don't like it. And I'm glad that you agree with that. What could teachers have done better for me?
If we had known that sooner, then some of those small little things that happened every effing day that really weighed on you maybe wouldn't have been big things by the end of the day. Like, I know that you have strong bonds with Mrs. Dales, for an example. What do you think would have been different?
I went to school for 6 hours every single day, right? I oftentimes, like, I was with a teacher the same time I was with you. Emotionally, teachers can only do so much because there's a lot of students, but once I started getting into middle school and high school, people were more like, kids can take care of themselves a little bit better. They could be more one-on-one, and that was okay. Miss Dales was one of the first that definitely had an impact on me. Like, I got to be with her more throughout the day. I also told her like a lot of secrets, and she helped me through a lot of bad times. But I think that it's less about emotional stuff to me, because although, you know, like I'm wondering what you think about, like, academically, what teachers could do to accommodate me better.
I don't know, because I don't know what the tools that they have. What did you need from them?
First, to be understanding. I wish teachers would have known that I don't understand all the time how I come across, because I think I got in trouble sometimes and I didn't understand why.
So nobody knew that when you got off the school bus, it was 18 steps to the door, and then it was 3 steps down and 15 steps up to your locker. And nobody knew that this was going on in your brain.
Yeah.
You know, and nobody needs to know that that's going on in your brain.
You just reminded me what all those numbers were, though.
I'm sorry.
No, I remember the exact numbers of how to get to my locker.
Everybody thinks that because you're a beautiful picture that nothing can be wrong. And I'm not even saying that counting numbers is wrong.
I understand when you say it's wrong, because I am not built for this world. The world is wrong to me.
That's right. You're not wrong.
No.
You're perfect.
I'm not wrong, thanks. But I would have an easier, better time if the world accommodated me more.
Yeah.
A lot of parents of autistic kids like message me and they're like, my kid, I need to fix my kid. I need to help my kid. My kid is playing with toys and they just line up all their toys. Like, what do I do? And I'm like, what do you mean? Is there a rule? Let them do it. Ew.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Shut up. Like, what? And then they're like, oh my God, my kid just watches the washing machine when it's on. Like, what do I do to fix it? I'm like, does your kid have a job to go to or something? Like, let them watch the friggin' washing machine. Like, why do you want to fix or change behaviors that aren't harmful at all? Mm-hmm. What are you nervous about for me in my life and my future?
I'm nervous that you won't be happy. You have a very strong conviction in being right, and sometimes the way you come across is hard, and we may not see them.
There is no such thing as my truth. There is only the truth.
Well, there's there's his side, her side, and then the middle or whatever.
No.
Yeah, you know.
There's facts. And then there's opinions based on facts.
So I would just want you to be happy. Sometimes your stubbornness comes across very harsh.
Yes.
And it's...
You told me that's why I didn't have friends when I was in middle school. I was confused as to why no one cared that much about being right as I did. I thought everyone would care as much as I did about being right. I wanted to be right. I wanted to know everything. I didn't want to say
but that's part of who
true.
You are. You need to know everything in advance. So
and I didn't understand how they didn't feel that way. Like, I'm like, wouldn't you want to know when you're wrong?
Meh.
Turns out, no.
Sleep better at night not knowing all the things we screwed up.
That's the truth. And that's why I always think that I would be so much happier if I was less smart, if I knew less things, if I remembered less things, because
Because you're seeking all the answers.
Yes, and there's so much, and the more you know, the less you know.
You're better at reading cues than you were, because you can tell from the look on my face when I'm like, I know that there's sometimes you're like,
face, it's how you say things.
Oh, my tone or something.
It's like, because when you are not having a good time, you go, and I go, okay, that's not good. When you're having a good time, you're, I don't know. That's the difference.
That's the voice you use for your boyfriend.
No.
Yes, it is.
No.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
I think a lot of people understand me better and can tell me when I'm stepping over the line easier.
Yes, that's true.
Before, a lot of people would just, they'd be like, oh. But
You're
now
too weird. I want to be away from you.
And now they're like, hey,
that's Paige. This is that. So I know one of these things about Paige. I'm just going to tell her how I feel.
Yeah.
She can digest it and change if she wants.
Because I care about being right. So if I'm hurting you, that's wrong to me. Hurting someone is wrong to me. I want to know. And I think what really killed me as a kid is people not telling me when I hurt them or when I did that, and so me just not understanding where the relationship went wrong. Last question. Ready?
Yeah. Last question.
Okay. Knowing what you know now, what advice could you give to parents of autistic kids?
I don't know.
After all we talked about, you
Well, I don't know, because everybody's different, right? That's the thing about it being a spectrum. Pay attention. Listen. Hear the words.
Am I being weird?
No,
I
had Bailey's in my coffee cup this morning. I played it into how I must have been feeling, like how I felt when I was your age. So there's lots of times where I've said to you, like, I know how you're feeling. You're like, you can't possibly know how I'm feeling. I'm like, yes, but I was once an 18-year-old girl. Yeah. Are there things that you wish that I could do better?
No, because I'm an adult and I have to do some things by myself, and that makes sense. I don't want to ask any more from you because it's all over now.
It's not over.
Well, the kid part's over.
Yeah, but that's like, I still have questions about the world, and it'd be nice to have.
Yeah, but here's my thing. I've always had questions about the world, and you've always been frustrated with me when I asked them. I remember you got frustrated. I thought it was because I asked questions.
It's because I don't know them.
And I didn't know that.
There's lots that I don't know.
And that's fine. Now I know it.
Yes, it's not ask her.
Before we end, is there anything else that you want to say?
No, I think that I think you do a good job of answering the stuff as they happen. Do you have questions?
I just asked you 20 questions.
I do think it's important to talk about everything, and I think it's important to validate everybody and where they're coming from, and everyone's different. We can do it again if you like.
That is all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for learning more. I hope that you had fun.
That was fun.
She had fun. We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.